While many of us continue to work from home, there are certainly many Americans returning to the office this fall. I'm joined by relationship expert and author Denna Babul, who is here to share tips to help us make it through these unprecedented transitions with our loved ones. Hi, Denna.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being with us. This is an important topic because, as we were talking about before we got started, everyone is in an unprecedented time. We're having to make decisions. We're having to make transitions. And your book, Love Strong, Change Your Narrative, Change Your Life, and Take Your Power Back, is a manual for what we should be doing to keep our relationships fresh and new and strong. So as we think about the pressures that relationships are under right now, especially for those who may have a partner returning to work or may be returning to the office themselves, what's your best advice for keeping things on a level ground?
That's a wide question because I think we're all coming at this from different vantage points. Right now, this is the hardest time in my marriage. I've been with my husband for 20 years. And even though I wrote Love Strong and I try to live that, we can't control everything that's coming at us. So what I would say is, don't compare yourself, which we hear all the time. Don't compare yourself. Understanding where the fear comes from you or your partner. What does returning to work look like? Is it fear of getting COVID? Is it fear of the wife or husband's going to be home and how am I going to balance all this, or if I'm homeschooling? So I think understanding where the fear comes from each person. What's your story? What are your challenges that you foresee? And what can we do about it? And it sounds cliche, but even taking a walk with your husband or your wife, going to grab some dinner, something real basic. You're not going to get to go away for the week, and do the things you wish you could do right now. So take little moments. And even if the connection is we have one laugh, you're doing good. You're doing real good. So I think you just have to understand the fears from each person and hear them out. And you got to listen to your spouse. What are they concerned? What pressure are they feeling? And how can you alleviate that?
Yeah, I think we all have some anxieties about something right now. And The important part of this is having that friendship with your spouse so that you can lean on each other for support. Sometimes I'll say, hey, I'm coming to talk to you as my friend rather than my husband right now because I need some different advice from you. Need to hear this in a different way. And I think what you're saying is amazing. You've got to connect. You got to find a way, even in the smallest, 5 to 10 minutes of time, to reconnect, to really feel that connection. So I know we talked about walking, but what other ways can we do that effectively? Understanding that we're going to be probably in a similar scenery, our homes or somewhere close by, and not necessarily on some of the lavish vacations that we might be used to taking.
Yeah, I think taking just 20 minutes. So any person that's out there listening, give your spouse or your partner 20 minutes of undivided attention where you look at them. You're not on your phone. You're not Netflixing and chilling. You're 20 minutes of connection. That goes a really long way. And it could be as basic as if you're going in two different directions, your husband can walk up and say, hey, I'm going to leave for a little while. Do you need anything? Here's my plan. This is what I'm doing, and I'll be back. But just the communication, because we're all overtaxed so much and we're overwhelmed, just give them the eyes. Just look at them. I think what we do in relationships and why I wanted to write Love Strong, we bring a lot of verbal and nonverbal cues from our childhoods into relationships. And so we're acting on the fears that we want to get over in our lifetime, whether it's abandonment, whether it's being seen or heard, whether it's trust issues, whatever it is. And those things continue to morph into situations because we're trying to work through it. So understanding what is the fear and how does my partner need to be heard and seen? Not me. How do they need to be heard and seen? In the book, I do something, there's a Love Strong Enneagram, and it teaches you, and I love the Enneagrams, people use it in corporate America, but let's use it in relationships. How does that person feel loved and seen? Not me, them. Because if your husband or your partner is, say, the perfectionist in the relationship, Their being seen and heard might be that they check off their list for the day, which could annoy you because you could be the optimist that likes to party and have fun, right? So you got to understand, if he gets his list checked off, then we can go have fun, and understanding that for him, getting that list checked off is very important for him feeling heard and seen and stable and what he needs to accomplish. So you can look in the book and go through some fun stuff like that, because how we want to be loved is how we try to give love, and it doesn't work. It's miscommunication.
Absolutely. And we talk about that with the love languages and all kinds of things that help you to realize that even though you may have the best of intentions, it's not always received in the same way that it is given. And that's key. And one of the key things that you mentioned to me was that every relationship, no matter how new or how established or how good or bad, especially in the midst of being together so much in quarantine, no relationship is exempt from the pressures, from the stress, from the aspects of change. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's important for people to know, especially like you said, in our need and our habits of comparing.
Yeah, right now, I would say take the comparison and throw it in the back seat, because right now your inner child wants to come out and play, because there's a lot of things that are happening that are fear-based. Understanding your conflict style is valuable. How do you relate? How do you resolve conflict? Are you a battler? Are you a compromiser? Are you an avoider? There's things that you're doing that you don't even realize that you're doing that will kind of control the narrative in your house. So just taking the time, and you can read Love Strong while you're in quarantine. You can listen to it. It'll help you get your relationship where you want it to be. Nothing's going to be great right now. We're all exhausted. So for anybody out there that's feeling like, oh my God, my relationship's not going where I want it to be, give it a break. Right now, just get the eye contact. That's all you need right now.
One step at a time. Well, I think that's so important. One day at a time, one set of 20 minutes at a time, whatever it takes, just to make a little bit of that positivity feeling come back. As you mentioned, we've achieved one laugh, we've done it. And I think we're all going through that in some way, shape, or form. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
For those of you who are interested in learning more about Love Strong, we invite you to our website at WTVR.com/VTM.